Every year, Nigeria deals with cholera. And like clockwork, the government goes into action, urging personal responsibility from the public. Don't defecate in public, wash your hands, and so on and so forth. Treating symptoms and ignoring the disease. At least that's what my guest tells me on the program today. The cholera outbreak Nigeria is experiencing right now is such an embarrassment. It's a disease of inequity that targets the most vulnerable in our society. And in our feature story, we go to these vulnerable people, hear their stories of death, and hope the government provides some comfort. And as usual, we walk you through the major stories from Nigeria's seat of power on our Abuja wrap. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Magwa. As with every year, the rain exposes the inadequacies of the government. Harsh but true. This time, an increase in rainfall is bringing about a cholera outbreak in Nigeria. And this should not shock anyone. A country that ranks #1 in open defecation in the world, constant flooding due to blocked drainages, poor sanitary conditions, it's a perfect formula for cholera to thrive. We might not be doing as badly as countries like Yemen or the Democratic Republic of Congo for now, but we are well on our way. We'll get to that later. First, let's look at what happened this week on our Abuja wrap. President Muhammadu Buhari is urging Nigerians, including community leaders, to assist the security operatives fish out those responsible for the insecurity in the country. The president made a statement in his hometown Daura in Katsina State after observing the Eid prayers to mark this year's Eid al-Kabir festival.
Those that are distracting the attention of governments at all levels, local, state and federal, they live among them, they know them, let them expose them so that we can have peace in the country. Well, what every Nigerian needs is peace now, so that they can go back to their farms, they can go around peacefully, and it's up to Nigerians to mobilize themselves and get rid of the bandits.
Meanwhile, the president donated ₦1 million, 2 cows and 20 bags of rice to members of the National Youth Service Corps serving in Daura local government area of Katsina State. He made the donation when they visited him in Daura to celebrate the Eid al-Kabir. The president urges them to be good ambassadors of the country.
Which makes NYSC a spectacular general government performance. And when I saw him about 3 months ago, I repeated it to him. Not only the cultural differences, but also the geographical and physical differences. And this is what makes Nigeria. That's why I feel very strongly about NYSC, and I always wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your service to the country.
The president also met some Nigerians who came to pay him Salah homage. They include the Accountant General of the Federation, Alhaji Ahmed Idris, and his family. Former Ogun State Governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, who came in the company of the group's CEO of Owando PLC, Mr. Wale Tinubu. The Managing Director of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, Mr. Bello Hassan, who was in the company of the Director General of the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, Alhaji Diko Rada, as well as the Minister of Defense, General Bashir Magashi. Staying with the Salah homage, the president had a meeting with some members of the House of Representatives, led by the Speaker, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, who used the opportunity to urge Nigerians to expect major changes to the constitutional amendment.
You'll see some changes, major changes. It's going to be a constitutional amendment like never before. I've kept saying we're not going to just be tinkering around the edges. We're just going to make fundamental changes that will be good for the north, the south, the west, the east, and the whole of Nigeria.
The president also met some governors on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. He urged the governors to remain steadfast in delivering their promises to the people. The president has directed all federal government agencies and institutions to work in synergy towards diversifying the nation's economy. He was speaking while commissioning an organic integrated farm estate established by the National Land Development Authority in Suduje community, Katsina State. In the meantime, the president is back in Abuja. The president spent 8 days in his country hometown, Daura, in Katsina State, where he marked the Eid al-Kabir celebration. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, is charging the Governing Board of Nigeria's Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative to ensure global best practices in contract ownership, disclosure of beneficial ownership, and data mainstreaming in the country's extractive industry. He gave the charge while inaugurating the 15-man board in Abuja.
As the board of this organization is to ensure effective IT implementation in Nigeria by providing policy and strategic direction, guidance, monitoring, and oversight of IT process in Nigeria. Let me remind you that unlike most agencies of government, NAIT is not only just a local agency of government, but part of an international organization. Hence, it must be seen to comply with the principles of international IT. The extractive industry is very strategic to Nigeria's economy and hence central to the administration's economic agenda.
Justice Obiora Egwatu of the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the Director General of the Department of State Services to produce the aides of the Yoruba activist Sunday Igboho in court on Thursday, July the 29th, 2021. The 12 aides have been in detention since July the 2nd. The federal government says the COVID-19 pandemic impacted diaspora remittances into Nigeria as it witnessed a 20% reduction from the $25 billion annual inflow. The chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa, stated this during the media briefing ahead of the 2021 Diaspora Day celebration. Welcome back. According to the NCDC, 18 states and the FCT have recorded cholera cases this year, with a total of 19,305 cases as at the 11th of July. 479 people have died so far. And sadly, that figure continues to rise. In the nation's capital, over 700 people have been infected, and Abuja Municipal and Buhari Area Council have the highest numbers of deaths, 22 casualties each. What are the plans to stop this recurrent tragedy? Please watch this.
Across the 6 area councils of the Federal Capital Territory, cholera is on the rise. Children, women and their men have died, and almost 700 cases have been recorded, with the Abuja Municipal Area Council recording the highest number of cases, followed by Gwagwalada Area Council. Each recorded more than 200 cases. Abaji Area Council has the least number of cases, with 3 suspected persons. Amak and Buhari Area Council have the highest number of deaths, with 22 each, while Abaji is yet to record any death. We visit one of the families who lost 2 people within a space of 2 days in Angwanliman Rabo in Zuba Town, and they narrate to us how it all happened.
We don't know. It's that student that informed us that he's not feeling okay. So before we rushed to the hospital, he's already dead. He was swelling and vomiting. 4 hours ago. And the informers were not taking to hospital. So when we rushed into hospital, before then, he was already dead. The time is too late for him. So when he came back, the next day, the other one started too. He just for me and vomited. And I just go to.
65-year-old Amadou Koko also lost his 25-year-old son, who died shortly after stooling and vomiting excessively.
Wajen karfe 3 nan na je na same shi ina iya magana abin shi yana magana. Yace baba da sauki yace da sauki yace shi to. Sai na koma na kwanta. Aka roka ce mun fa ina.
A major challenge that is common in communities that have recorded outbreak of cholera in the FCT is the lack of potable water, with most residents relying on water vendors or boreholes for water.
Actually, there's a cholera in Zuba Chiefdom, most especially in Zuba town, because many people, they lost their life. Even back of Emir Palace here, these 4 days to 5 days, one of the 2 youths who lost them. And you can see both the government hospital and the private hospital is full. Most of the villagers under this, they are very close to Zuba. Those souls affected. We don't have water. Drinking water we don't have. That's Impresid is up at Madala. And these people go to Madala and fetch the water there with wheelbarrow and send it to us, we drink. We don't know where they carry this water from.
Yeah, see, like water, this Zuba here, you know, get water. You know, get river. Some people, the water, like cement, like toilet, they inside that borehole the people bring it. If you drink that water, you know, go see the thing good or like this. Now the problem, some people say now from water, now these people carry. The gutter, this gutter, some people, if you follow this, no gutter, good one for Zuba here. No road for water. The rest go push everything for Zuba here.
Some rely on wells, which are mostly in poor and unhealthy states.
We lost almost 3 people in this area, and almost in a week we lost them. So it is very, very bad. I want the government to come and help us. Like this, our well here now does not have even cover. And children pour dirty inside, and we use the water, we use it to cook. We bath with it, we do many things with it. So assuming the government will come and help us, we'll be very, very thankful.
Another challenge is lack of drainage system in some communities, and where they are available, they are mostly not properly maintained.
We need government to come to our aid to help us by building a drainage here. Because here, if there is drainage, all these kind of things won't be here. So it's this drainage that causes all these things. And this thing can cause what? Cholera. Before you know, and cholera kills.
We are trying to even have our environmental marshal that will go around on daily basis to sensitize the public and possibly even shut down some shops, because we have already made that pronouncement and we're going to act on it.
To address the problem, the Minister of State for FCT, officials from the FCT Primary Health Care and other agencies are in the palace of the Agora of Zuba to flag off community sensitization on cholera and other severe acute diarrhea diseases. The message is on the need to maintain proper hygiene and environmental sanitation by the people.
Over 120 communities are involved across the 6 area councils, with Amak having the highest suspected cases, followed by Gwagwalada and Buari area councils. As a matter of urgency, FCTA has taken several measures to stop the spread of the disease, as well as to provide adequate care to those affected. Some of these measures include formation of Cholera Emergency Operations Center, appointment of incident manager and other relevant medical personnel, along with stakeholders from FCT Water Board and Riwasa, prepositioning of drugs and consumables for the free treatment of identified cases in both secondary and primary health care facilities across the 6 area councils in the FCT. Provision of free potable water through water tankers where we do not have pipe-borne waters from the FCT Water Board to all affected areas. Let this water not be sold to you. The FCT administration is making the water in tankers available for you, free to be used, to encourage you to wash your hands and keep clean or hygienic environment.
As the government hopes to tackle the scourge of cholera through sensitization such as this one, residents of affected communities in the FCT look forward to having the underlying factors responsible for cholera outbreak addressed.
My guest is a public health expert, Dr. Emmanuel Abanida. Dr. Abanida is the former Director, Disease Control and Immunization, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. He tells me that throwing the responsibility of having sanitary environments to the public is an admission that the government has failed in providing basic infrastructure that would ensure sanitary environments for its people. Dr. Abanida, welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you, Caleb.
Let's talk a bit about this cholera outbreak. A lot of Nigerians are probably looking at it right now and thinking, we're in 2021. Countries have moved forward from this. You know, how is this happening? What causes a cholera outbreak in a country like Nigeria?
Cholera is one of the 6 diseases that that have really panicked the whole world, and has a lot of names to itself. One, it is known as the disease of political negligence, and that's where I'm going to talk more. 2,
what does that mean?
Disease of political negligence is when people
a disease of political negligence.
Yes, when people are not discharging their service compact to the people to provide the necessary infrastructure. That is the context. That is the context. That's the back movement. You see, people, when they talk about cholera, they say no. They should tell the members of the public to do their hygiene.
Yes, we keep saying that we need more enlightenment. We need to talk to people about open defecation and things like that. You're saying
downstream issues that are not very important. I'm not saying they are not important. It's only when the upstream issues have failed that you now go to that level and start asking the members of the community. By the time you emphasize that communities should wash their hands, make sure they defecate here, make sure they boil water, you are admitting that there's a failure in the institution that is expected to provide the right infrastructure to ensure that cholera does not exist. And what is it? You ask me to boil my water because there's no pipe-borne water that is potable. Even if there's pipe-borne water, you ask me to boil it because the pipe that draws the water has been laid maybe by the colonial master and they become rusted, so anything can come in and cause disease. You ask me to make sure that when I go to the toilet, I wash my hand and do this and that, because even toilets are not available. People use pit latrines, people use the bush in so many places where this is not happening. Then, of course, government needs to be proactive. I'm taking on the government now. Because cholera happens, normally the epidemics happens, of course, around the month of May or the month of June, at the beginning of the rainy season till maybe about when the rainy season is going away. What happens? People defecate all over the whole place. And when rain comes, rain washes all the defecation. Of course, the viral cholera.
So it's natural that with the rainy season,
it will normally come because
there'll be an outbreak of cholera.
If there's water, potable water for people to use, will they go there and fetch water? They will not. If there are adequate or optimal latrine or sanitation facility for people to use, will they go to the bush and be using their hand in cleaning and so sort of thing? No, they will not.
Let's take a look at some of the things that the government can do right now. You've mentioned, public toilets in the city centers and things like that. But let's move to the rural areas. What kind of facilities should the government be providing? Same public toilets? Can they try something else? Can we have pit latrines or something in each compound? Are these projects that the government can carry out? Do you have any advice on what they can do?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me take you from the past 30 years, maybe in the 1980s, when the European Union, through their water program, they came to Nigeria, and they were putting public toilets and so on and so everywhere. Then came UNICEF with the WATSAM program, water and sanitation, and they are building pit latrine and so on and so forth, and facilities all over the whole place. There's so many, even the Bill and Melinda Foundation and so many other organizations, United Nations organizations and private agencies, they are helping Nigeria to ensure that there are provisions of sanitation, toilets, and water facilities in the rural areas. We have left this thing into the hands of the foreigners. It is not sustainable. And of course, this infrastructure will go down naturally one day. I believe that the role of the community in stemming this wave of cholera outbreaks comes in when the facilities are available in the rural area and you now enlighten them to go to the facility. Please make sure you don't go to stream because government has provided potable water for you. Make sure you don't do open defecation because government has provided toilet for you. Make sure you wash your hand because there are facilities that government has provided. But when it is not provided and you go on and start moving all over the whole place and say, don't go to pit loiter, let government do his own part. Then we can now go on and start enlightening members of the community. When you are saying that community should do this, and you are leaving government alone, you are only treating the symptoms, but you are not treating the cause of the symptoms or the disease itself.
In the meantime, because before governments will be able to provide the basic infrastructure, this is an argument that has been going on for so long. A lot of people have been talking about this. In the meantime, what can be done?
Yes, when there is failure in provision of these infrastructures by the public sector, people now have to take their lives and the responsibility into their own hands.
Because this is your life. You don't want your children to die of cholera.
That is the second stage or the second option, which we don't actually want. One, you ensure that whatever water you get, because cholera, vibrio cholera itself, of course, it can stay for a long time, almost not like tetanus, but it has a way of, you have a way of reducing it even locally. One, if you boil everything, you are doing actually very well, it's likely going to kill the cholera, the bacteria. Then if you wash your hand, you are not likely going to get it contaminated or get into your mouth. Because you know, cholera is transmitted by what is known, the jargon known as fecal-oral route, that is from the fecal material to the mouth. It's a cycle. It is not person to person disease. No. When you don't have what you need, of course, whatever you have, you must love it and make sure that you improve it to give yourself personal improvement and personal health. And I think that is where we can now start preaching the issue, or what we call the health-seeking behavior or attitude of members of the community that are challenged with infrastructural deficiency and paucity. So they now boil their water. They now ensure that even if they are going to use toilet, where I come from, a lot of people still go to the bush. 98% of the people go to the bush to use themselves. We can now start educating them what they need to do. I think people need to take the responsibility by themselves, because the government at all levels have failed to provide the infrastructure that we need to stem cholera. It is shameful. No, I'm not just talking about Nigeria. For most developing countries, that this is a disease that comes almost every year. That's caused pandemic, epidemic. In most countries, almost about 5 times, almost once every 2 or 3 years, it comes up, and then we're still talking about it here today. What are you talking about?
Can you give the government a timeline on when we can be done with this? Is this something?
I can give them
I think we should take this as a matter of policy. The way we did with polio, we want it over by so and so time.
Yes. Building huge infrastructure because of economic issues and some other competing demands may not make it possible to fix up everything, but government can stage it. Government can say, okay, we have a Marshall Plan. The provision of water and sanitation, provision of essential health services, and provision of something that people can put in their malnutrition are the basic functions of government. So government should face that one, and let me tell you something. You talk of security, which is a top point that everybody is talking all about now. Security does not mean only when the gun is being cocked and shot somebody. You have the issue of health security. You have the issue of social security. We are talking of physical security caused by bandits or caused by whoever is causing all these things. Again, those ones will not go down as long as people are feeling that government is neglecting what it's supposed to do.
Dr. Abanida, I'm sure we can have this conversation all day, but we do have to stop it here. Thank you so much for being with us today on Dateline.
Thank you very much for having me. And I also want to thank Nigerians for listening to us. I also want to thank government for listening and making plans to ensure that infrastructures are provided. But Nigerians, your health is primarily your hand, because in most cases, most of these governments, they fail to provide the infrastructure. Thank you.
Do you agree with our guest? Whether you agree or not, it's important to note that this is your health, your life, the lives of your family members. So until such a time as when the basic infrastructure to ensure sanitary environments are provided by government, keep yourself safe. Try to ensure you have safe drinking water and keep your environment as clean as possible. Nobody should be dying of cholera in Nigeria in the year 2021. Nobody. That is Dateline Abuja this week. Remember to let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screen. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.